We live in a society where Robin is nothing more than a mantelpiece desecrated by the clown prince of crime. Since Batman vs. Superman, fans have been craving to learn more about Robin's demise in Zack Snyder's Batverse. And even more so, was this Robin Jason Todd? And if that's the case, where's Nightwing? With Zack Snyder's Justice League cut looming around the corner, Joker making his untatted return, and a few tweets, we now have our answer. And fans, Robin is about to make his return. The real question is, which one? Let's kick this off with what we know so far. In Batman vs. Superman, fans were heartbroken but excited to see the iconic red suit vandalized by none other than the Joker. Why? Because it meant that while Robin was technically gone, the possibility of the story of the Red Hood and Jason Todd being told in a future Batman solo film was opened. While I don't believe Robin will swoop in and save the day in the upcoming Snyder Cut, it is rumored that Robin's demise will finally be revealed during Nightmare. If you don't remember what Nightmare is, let me jog your noggins. Nightmare was Bruce Wayne's dream sequence in Batman vs. Superman, which featured the world's grim future as Darkseid took over the world. Superman was punching holes in people's chests, and Batman went all Mad Max trying to save what was left. Based on the recent Snyder Cut trailer and rumors Nightmare is returning, I'm unsure if this time it's real or a return to Bruce's vision. But regardless, Batman will have to team up with his arch-nemesis Joker and the Terminator Deathstroke in a last-ditch effort to stop Darkseid's forces. According to Snyder himself, in this scene, Joker will drop a line regarding the late Robin. I have a theory about what this line may lead to, but I'll talk about that later on. For now, let's start with what many are expecting. Joker, being the Joker, who will revel in the fact that Batman needs him, will use this moment to taunt the Dark Knight and make him remember his greatest failure, not being able to save Robin. This idea is something Snyder said he would likely do if given the opportunity. As said in an interview, his ideal Robin story within a Justice League film is Batman drinking and remembering what went down those 10 years ago. So what exactly did go down and what could we expect to see? In issue 447 of the Batman comic titled A Death in the Family, tragedy strikes the Bat family as Jason Todd is caught up in a mission gone wrong and betrayal. In a plot to gain medical supplies to sell on the black market, Joker finds and blackmails Jason's mother, Sheila Haywood, who previously performed illegal activities on teenagers and had been blacklisted from medical practice. She can't let that one get out to her current employer, so she agrees to assist. Her past becomes Jason's nightmare, as after finding out Sheila is indeed the mom, he does all he can for her after learning she's wrapped up with a clown prince of crime. Rather than take the help, Sheila turns Jason, who she finds out is Robin, over to the Joker to protect herself. Apparently, she's been embezzling funds from the company she works for and stole from for the Joker. Talk about a role model. Long story short, Joker beats Jason repeatedly with a crowbar, ties him and Sheila up in a warehouse, which I just want to say, Sheila, what did you think was going to happen? And blows it sky high before Batman can arrive. Jason, revived by Ra's al Ghul, returns to Gotham as the Red Hood to rid the city of evil. Permanently. Now, I know fans would love to see this story make its way to the big screen. Or should I say small screen because, HBO Max. Personally, if the Red Hood story was to be told, I would love to see Jensen Ackles casted to reprise his role of Jason Todd from the animated movie Under the Red Hood. Also, getting a glimpse of what happened to Jason may finally reveal why our favorite Caped Crusader is taking anyone and everyone's life rather than be the hero we know he is. However, we have one problem. This suit from Batman vs. Superman doesn't belong to Jason. It belongs to Dick Grayson, aka the first Robin. Alright, where do I even begin to explain this? Through the recent teases of the Snyder Cut and many tweets from Zack Snyder, we have learned that the suit from Batman vs. Superman isn't Jason Todd's, but Dick Grayson's, which messes with what we know about Robin. In the comics, Dick Grayson was never off by the Joker. Rather, he outgrew the Robin moniker and became my favorite DC character, Nightwing. So what's the reason for the change, and how does Dick being the Robin who fell from the heavens affect our story in Justice League and, more importantly, the story of Batman? From Batman vs. Superman to Justice League, Batman has been on an interesting journey. A journey to become the hero he once was. At his core, we all know Bruce is broken, and this stems all from Robin's demise. However, the question to ask is, how does the death of Grayson differ from Jason's? After Wayne lost Jason, he didn't become the executioner he is in the Snyderverse. So what happened? That answer lies in the role Robin truly plays. Not as a sidekick, but proving to Batman that his way of dealing with evil is correct. Overall, what Grayson's demise represents is Bruce losing faith in the idea that is Batman. Batman couldn't protect him, and neither could Wayne, which is why Bruce ultimately feels like a failure. Also, unlike the comic, Bruce never was able to develop the sense of idealism that comes in training a younger apprentice to fight at his side, which in turn begins his own fall to the Dark Knight we see in Batman vs. Superman. With Robin gone, Batman succumbs to, as Alfred puts it,
a feeling of powerlessness that turns good men cruel.
When the Batman of this universe began his career, it was with the hope that he could make a difference. Grayson was to become the Batman Bruce never could be, and that optimism and hope of a better world is ultimately what did Grayson in. Also, when you really break things down to the idea that is Batman, he hasn't really done much. The crime rate hasn't fallen, psychos like Joker still command the streets, and innocent lives are still lost. Batman's dream has failed, leading Bruce to fall further into his hole of darkness and pain. So how will all this tie back into Joker dropping a Robin Easter egg? Originally, Batman's story was supposed to stretch over 5 films with Robin and Batman's redemption as its focus. With the Snyderverse canned, we're only getting what we've gotten so far. But if the Snyder Cut is to be Zack's last hurrah, then Batman teaming with the Joker is the completion of his arc. The reason why Joker has all the tattoos, grills, and more is because Batman beat him into a pulp. Batman wanted to take Joker's life in exchange for Grayson's, and as we know, he didn't. When Joker takes the opportunity to remind the Dark Knight of his greatest failure, Bruce will experience that anguish again. However, this time his guilt won't consume him. Rather, almost like a mother who forgives the person who took their kid's life, Batman will see the bigger picture, take the higher road, and be the hero we know he can be. While the Justice League will introduce Robin, it will only be to showcase what Bruce has overcome since his introduction in Batman vs. Superman. It also may give a hint to what's to come if for some reason DC decides to continue the story. Remember, at the beginning of this video I said Robin would be introduced, but I specifically asked which Robin. Without a doubt, I believe this Easter egg will dive into Batman's past and, more importantly, the demise of Dick Grayson. However, I also believe it may give a hint about the introduction of a brand new Robin. Now, let's imagine a world where the nightmare scenario continues and Batman is forced to continue his team up with the League of Villainy to stop Darkseid's forces. Although Jason Todd isn't Robin in Snyderverse, something to theorize about is the return of Dick Grayson as Red Hood, which I think Joker's Easter egg could lead to. Joker knows Grayson is alive, which will be news to Batman. I know this would probably break every loyal comic fan's mind, but the story could work. Rather than follow the death in the family storyline, Snyder could take the influence from the animated film Under the Red Hood to avoid the inclusion of parental betrayal. This version of the Red Hood would be motivated similarly to the original character, as he will continue the legacy Batman left behind, taking life if it means the betterment of the world. However, what will drive his motivation further is Batman working with those he swore to take down. Even more so, the man who took his life. To me, this sounds like a very interesting story, and my interest grows further when thinking about Batman's personal growth. Overcoming the loss of Dick Grayson would allow Bruce Wayne to finally seek out another Robin who can take the mantle. Considering Bruce's age in DC canon, we have the perfect Robin in mind who aligns perfectly with Zack Snyder's vision: Carrie Kelly. From the graphic novel The Dark Knight Returns, Carrie Kelly was a young and neglected teen who went from a makeshift Robin who was inspired by Batman's heroics to become the Dark Knight's final apprentice after a bunch of trial and error. In the past, Snyder has name-dropped Kelly multiple times and has even made reference that Robin, or Dick Grayson, was not to return until it was time for Carrie to take the legendary moniker. If somehow DC greenlit a continuation of the Snyderverse, and even more so a Nightmare spin-off, how I could see this story playing out is in combination of both The Dark Knight Returns and Under the Hood stories. Much like in The Dark Knight Returns, Wayne and Carrie would go back and forth over her not following Bruce's orders, what Robin should be in their crime-fighting duo, and etc. For Bruce, his apprehensions would stem from losing Grayson and more so who Grayson has become. Although Batman has overcome his trauma, can he protect Carrie from the world, especially when he's forced to work with folks like the Joker? If things go south, can Bruce prevent another Robin from taking the wrong turn? And on top of that, Batman is now face to face with his greatest demon, as Red Hood has made his presence known and is after Batman due to his alliance with the Joker and overall lust for vengeance. Also, how would Grayson feel about being replaced? The story itself would center solely on Batman's redemption, acceptance of what happened all those years ago, and forgiving himself for events that led to the monster he and Joker both created. In the end, rather than the ending we got in Under the Red Hood, which, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen it, it was Jason holding Joker hostage and forcing Batman to decide over who gets to live, we possibly get a situation where Red Hood has Carrie at gunpoint after beating her to a pulp. We all know Carrie stands no chance against the former Boy Wonder, leaving Batman to choose between his past and his future. Will Bruce step back into the darkness he just left and take Grayson's life to save Carrie's? Or will he find a way to save them both, including Dick Grayson's soul? It's a story I would be so excited to see, and I know fans would love it as well. But that's not in my power, so Warner Brothers, the ball is in your court. If for some reason you're watching this video, please reinstate the Snyderverse, because we need this story. What do you think of Zack Snyder switching things up and offing Dick Grayson rather than Jason Todd? Personally, after reading more into Snyder's psychology and creating his vision of the Dark Knight, I love it. However, I know comic loyalists may say otherwise.